It's about 9 in the morning. Got a little bit of a later start this morning just because the wind was whipping pretty good. It's kind of blowing the tent around. Made it a little too easy to stay cozy in my sleeping bag, so I elected not to get up too early. But now I'm headed back up to the east side again. It's going to be a probably pretty common theme for the rest of this trip, just because that was kind of my main goal with this year. And the shuttle buses are kind of a pain to deal with anyway, so... Plus yesterday and a couple days before that, before the subway hike anyway, I felt like I was pretty promising. It was pretty productive. So as long as I stay productive, I think I'll just keep sticking with that. So one of those washes I ran into yesterday was full of some really pretty colors, and I'll probably end up heading back there either today or tomorrow at some point. We'll see how it goes. But otherwise, I think I'm probably just going to pick right back up kind of where I left off yesterday and just keep wandering and checking out these washes and the little side nooks that you find in there and see how it goes. So I found this tree that's mostly all still green, but there's this one offshoot that's coming off the base that's got leaves that are in transition, but there's it's a red leaf, but it's got the main veins that are still green. It's super cool looking. So I set up a shot here with the long lens, actually, shooting at almost 200 millimeters to zoom way in, because what I'm trying to do is just isolate those leaves themselves. But I have to work around the dead branches that are around it and a few other said leaves on them. Because the thing is, I'm not a believer in just snapping off dead limbs or something like that to modify a scene to make it work. I don't like that. If it was something like just moving a rock or something, that's one thing, but I'm not going to damage the tree to try to get this shot improved. So I'm got my tripod in such a way that I can get it situated in there and zoom in past them so they're not in my composition. I'm shooting this one at f9, shutter speed of 1/13, ISO 100, and I'm using a 4x3 crop on this one just to try to rein in the sides of the composition a little bit and keep it clean. As far as focus, I'm focusing on one of the main leaves, and I've zoomed in with my 10x zoom, digital zoom on the LCD, and what I'm looking for is to almost make out the detail and the cell structure of the leaf, and that gives me critical sharpness on one leaf. I'm not so worried about getting all the leaves in focus, because that's kind of unrealistic, especially when I'm zoomed in this far with the distance to my target being this short. I'm using my 2-second timer so that I don't get any camera shake, because especially with the long lens being zoomed in this far on my target, just even touching the tripod will be enough to make your image blurry. So I don't have my cable release, so what I'm doing is I just leave the LCD touch to release shutter on, so I just barely tap the LCD, and it seems like it doesn't shake the camera near as bad as hitting the shutter button. So, and that's it. Looks a lot like Mountain Kitty Town to me. It's beautiful though. I promise you I didn't stage this scene. Somebody else might have, but I didn't. But there's just this cool little evergreen tree growing out of the sandstone cliff here, where there's an overhang and some water coming through. And it's got this pine cone off to the side, and it's just this cool little scene. Some green moss around it. It was just too cool not to shoot. So it was just a snapshot. I didn't make a big deal out of it, but super cool. Real quick and simple tip when you're on these multi-day trips, I use several memory cards. I have one of these memory card wallets, and I have all of my memory cards in here, and they're all faced label side up. When I get to one that I've used, just flip it around. The side that the memory card comes out of, I just flip it upside down, because then I know that that one's been used. And then additionally, I never format anything in the field. So before I set out on this trip, I clear all my memory cards out, and they should all be empty. If I put one in and it's got something on it, I'll just go to the next one, just in case. I'm a little stuck. My truck is that way, but this is actually kind of a treat. So I got the long lens out and took some shots of these sheep here, but I'm kind of ready to go, but it doesn't look like they are, because they all just kind of laid down in the shade. They'll probably move if I get up and start walking down the wash, but there's a couple males in there that are pretty big. That's some big horns, and there's some young ones too, so I don't know if I want to gamble. I got a shady spot. It's kind of a cool treat. Sit here and just watch them. So they're eating all my pretty leaves. Hi. Can I just go that way? So this one's a composition I've been kind of working for about the last hour and a half. And originally I thought maybe it'd be a cool shot to take close up and get the colorful leaves with the dark rock in the background, just get more of an intimate, like right in there shot. But I've shot that every which way I could get my tripod in there, and it just wouldn't line up. Couldn't get it to work until I sat back and looked from a distance, and I think I got it to work just from a distance, shooting with the long lens. So I think I got it now, finally. So what I got going on here is I've actually set my tripod up on some sandstone here and it's sitting pretty high up, although it's about level with where those branches are on the side of the wash over here. And I'm shooting, moderately tight, somewhere right at about 100 millimeters. And I've actually put this in a square crop because there's other leaves and stuff on the left of the frame that I'm trying to exclude as much as I can. But there's some dead branches in the upper right corner that are super cool. It gives it kind of some native space, I think, But I was able to isolate the most colorful patch of leaves, which is one that kept grabbing my eye. And the only challenge is that the upper left corner's got a little bit of green in it too, and I can't really get around that. I don't know if it bothers me yet, but so far I don't think so. But we'll find out when I get back home and get it in Lightroom. So I'm shooting this one at f11, shutter speed of 1/10, ISO 100. And I focused for the branches themselves just behind the leaves. It's just so hard to get all of the leaves in focus exactly. It seems like I get a pretty good average when I actually focus for the branches just behind them. And I think I got it. I'm stoked to have at least found something to settle on, because it was driving me nuts walking back and forth here between the wash and seeing that, and it was bothering me because I knew there was a composition somewhere. But yeah, I think I got it. Well, I've walked around this wash for a couple hours now and thought found some pretty cool stuff, but I've lost all my daylight. So sun's down, and I'm heading back up to my truck now. I'll head back to camp and get some food. But I got a good place to start in the morning. So several compositions that I found, but I need the morning light in order to get those. So the way the light hits the canyon in the afternoon just wouldn't have worked. Everything was in direct sunlight. So got a good direction for the morning, and I think that I'm going to call it right here for today. So just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.